The Dark Magician Diablo Volpir was once a formidable warrior. As his power grew to incredible heights, so did his goals. He decided to go against the 12 gods who constantly caused suffering in the human world through their actions. However, for all his power, they found a way to seal him away. While the gods believed this threat to be gone, Diablo is far from defeated. He will return, and he will destroy them. He just might not be Diablo anymore. In the mansion of the Count family of the Selden Kingdom, Jamie Welton awakens from his sleep. On the surface, this young man seems to be the picture-perfect son of a noble. Kind, caring, humble, soft-spoken, and passionate to boot. But the truth is far from this image. Many years ago, the 12 heavenly gods came together to seal away an extremely powerful individual. This man stood against the gods and was so powerful that sealing him was their only option. Not even they had the power to fully defeat him before being sealed. The man vowed to return one day and make them suffer. This man was Diablo Volpir. 9 years ago, Diablo finally managed to cross through a crack in his seal. Doing this caused him to be reborn as the son of the Welton family. Jamie, a warrior through and through. His experiences with the extremely loving family he's born in are highly irritating to him. Every day, he's forced to act cute and innocent while interacting with his parents and little sister. His parents come from quite noticeable backgrounds as well. His mother is the sole daughter of the Great Bell family. Meanwhile, his father is one of 5 great sword masters in the entire kingdom. Though Jamie does care for his new family, he hates how soft everything here is. After the experiences of his past life, being smothered with such constant affection is little more than a nuisance. One of the reasons Jamie remains here is because his power is greatly lowered. Ever since being reborn, he hasn't been able to regain his former strength since dark magic doesn't exist in this era. One day, after failing to find anything useful in his family's magic library yet again, Jamie runs into someone in the mansion. Sensing the ridiculous amount of mana leaking from this man, Jamie wonders why he's here and how he got in. As he questions the man, the young boy can feel him trying to measure his power. The man then proceeds to test Jamie, resultantly infuriating him. How dare this man place himself in the same realm as Diablo Volpir, the man who was once on the verge of defeating the gods. Wanting to show this man just who he's dealing with, Jamie shoots forth his strongest magic spell at his current level. This, however, doesn't even affect the man. In return, he shoots forth a spell of his own. Jamie can read the path of the spell though and doesn't even bother to react. He knows it won't hit. The man notices this and is amazed at the boy's skill. Right as the spell nears Jamie, his father Argeno appears and destroys it. He's extremely upset at the man who is revealed to be an acquaintance of his, Marquis Limmel, the strongest 8th class great magician. The two men then head to a private room for a discussion. Frankly, he's too powerful for anyone else to teach him anyways. After Limmel leaves, Jamie studies the mana absorption method he's written down. Though it's quite complicated, he's able to overcome its difficult parts with the help of Black. This is a familiar who's made a soul contract with Jamie, with Black assisting. Jamie decides on a totally new way to break his limits. Where normal magicians absorb mana through their heart, he will store it in his whole body. He'll have no limits. Meanwhile, Jamie heads to his room, feeling the utmost pride in just how powerful his father is, while he admires the man. Limmel speaks up from behind him, shocking the boy. The old magician tells Jamie that he's certainly impressive, but the magic he's using is too old, handing him a book of his own creation. Limmel tells Jamie to learn from it and make himself great. After just a single day of learning from Limmel's book, Jamie has mastered his new magic. Deciding to go meet his father, he has Black turn invisible, as a spirit familiar he created with dark magic. Jamie doesn't want his dad seeing him. When he reaches his father's study, Jamie sees a man in religious clothing walk out, recognizing the symbols on his clothing as those of Janus. He's enraged. This is one of the gods who sealed him. How dare he set foot in Jamie's home? He has to make plans to rectify this problem. Setting that aside for now, he meets with his father. Argeno is shocked when he senses just how much his son's mana has strengthened since Limmel's visit, though he would have liked Jamie to live a normal life. He's prepared to support his son on any path. Thinking back on his meeting with Limmel, Argeno is only more sure that his son may become the legendary 9th class magician. To Jamie's surprise, Argeno manages to sense Black's presence despite all the disguise spells he placed on him. His father truly is an incredible man. After confessing that he created Black himself, Argeno showers him with praise. When Jamie finally leaves his father's study, he appears exhausted from the love and affection. That night, a pair of thugs from the criminal organization Limmel are seen talking in an alley. They're discussing their boss's recent decision to get them involved in human trafficking. As they consider running away since they don't agree with this act, the duo sense a presence nearby. With a cloak over his body, Jamie steps out of the shadows. The two try to attack Jamie, but with his superior magic and physical ability, he easily dominates them. Using a form of mind magic, he has them confess everything they know about Limmel's human trafficking. Knowing how strongly his father is against such practices, Jamie orders the two to go confess everything they know to the Count. As they walk off, Jamie loses himself in thoughts of just why this is happening. On top of the gods who meddle with humans, he now has to deal with humans meddling with themselves too. Then the men he controlled come flying past Jamie into the wall behind him. Turning to where they came from, he sees more members of Limmel. Led by the mage Han Ni, they're here to dispose of the traitors. After having the two dragged away, he turns his sights on Jamie. Before anything can be said, he shoots a hole through Jamie's head, then his shoulder, then his ribs. One after another, he explodes bits of Jamie till he's a pile of ash. At least that's what he believes, appearing next to the man. Jamie reveals the one he just killed was his own comrade. In a last resort, Han launches forth his explosion magic, Buster, as a third-class spell. This does nothing to Jamie. Using his mind magic, he breaks Han and then kills his men with a spell called Erasure. Turning to Han, he orders him to spill everything he knows. Unfortunately, Han doesn't know much more than the two he already questioned. With no more use for him, Jamie consumes the man's mana and leaves him dead. Then, with Black's assistance, he uses necromancy to revive the two men he originally questioned, raising them back from the dead. He gives them the names Ezard and Reza. Their purpose now is simply to help Jamie learn about the Church of Genius and oppose it from the shadows. Jamie orders the two to bring him another member of Livell, since they're now his servants. He can't hand either of them over to the Count. After leaving them, he runs into a boy on his way home. Due to something he says, Black is offended and has Jamie terrorize him. When they get home, Jamie scolds his familiar for his actions. As he goes to bed, he thinks about recent events and the appearance of Genus, one of the gods he fought against, and his least favorite one too at that. The next morning, Jamie wakes up refreshed but quite late. Heading to the dining hall, he is once again defenseless against the greatest enemy currently in his life, the smothering levels of love shown by his family. While sharing a meal with his family, Jamie finds himself actually sharing in some of their habits. The reincarnated magician is quick to scold himself for this and decides he's gotten too used to peace. His mother then tells Jamie and his sister Sarah about an important event tomorrow. They're going to a ball, and not just any ball, but a very large-scale one organized by Count Simon and their father, Count Welton. Since they're finally at the right age, Jamie and Sarah will now be expected to attend such events. To Jamie, this brings a horrible realization. He'll soon be losing his precious free time. Later, Jamie visits Azard and Reza with Black at his side. The two haven't really been able to find out much about the Church of Genius since it's fairly new. They have, however, accomplished the other task given to them. They've managed to capture a direct underling of Han for Jamie to use as a whistleblower. When Jamie turns to the bound and gagged man, he starts begging for his life. The man claims he doesn't know anything, but he'll do whatever Jamie wants if he's spared. Annoyed by his loudness, Jamie uses his magic to bend the man's mind to his will. He gives him the order to report Livell's activities and leaves. Outside, Reza chases after Jamie to ask him a question. He wants to know what exactly he and his friend are. He knows they're undead of some sort, but he needs to know exactly what he's become. Surprised by the man's acceptance as an undead, Jamie admits he's just a simple zombie. He does decide to give him some hope though. He tells Reza that if they work hard, they may even become high-class zombies. The next day, Arjuna is held up after receiving reports of Livell's human trafficking. With him busy, Jamie, Sarah, and their mother head to the ball without Arjuna. On their way there, Jamie thinks about how long it's been since his original sealing, and all the ages that have passed. The 12 gods have still not managed to ally. This time, they'll bring them down even more easily than before. On their way to the city where the ball is held, Jamie talks to his mother about the city and Count Simon. The city region is the most successful commercial city in the land. As for Count Simon, he is a powerful 7th-class magician who earned the nickname Crimson Lotus. With one spell, he is capable of killing thousands of enemies at once. Jamie is eager to meet this man because of this exact power. Reaching the venue of the ball, the Weldon family are escorted to their own rooms. After preparing, they head to the ballroom. Here, Jamie is disgusted to find several people trying their hardest to get into his mother's good graces, all because of the benefits they believe they receive from the Welton family. Thankfully, his mother is quite good at dealing with such people. Their actions just remind him of the people who sucked up to the 12 gods in his era, which is why he despises them. As the ball proceeds, Count Simon and his family make their entrance. When he meets the Welton family, Jamie realizes the man is sizing him up. Likewise, he's doing the same. The boy is blown away by just how powerful Count Simon's magic feels. Exchanging greetings, the two agree they'll meet later. With the ball in full swing, Jamie's mother tells him to make plenty of friends and lets him go off on his own. He has no intentions of doing so though and heads outside. He's going to look for a quiet place to enjoy some alone time. Out in the gardens, he's admiring the financial accomplishments of Count Simon when he's caught off guard by a little girl. This is Ashbal. After annoying Jamie thoroughly, he threatens her with some dangerous magic to speak clearly. She introduces herself and explains that she's a spirit magician, a magician who forms contracts with nature spirits. Jamie is surprised at someone so young being a user of such rare magic. It does explain how she got behind him without him realizing. She must be contracted with a wind spirit. At her insistence, Jamie then follows with an introduction of himself. When he tells her his name though, Ashley is dumbstruck. After all, the Ball family are subordinates of the Welton family. Meanwhile, back in Jamie's hometown, trouble is brewing because of Livel's failure. As he continues exploring the gardens, Jimmy grows annoyed by Ash, who is following him. He turns to her and demands to know why she won't leave him alone. He's surprised though when she admits she just wants to be friends. Telling her he's not interested, he leaves. He thinks back on the pain of loss he had to suffer in his previous life. If he hadn't had friends, he would never have had to feel like that. Then he's confronted by Alf, the eldest son of Count Simon's family, alongside two boys who act as his thugs. Alf tries to pressure Jamie into listening to him. Uninterested, Jamie casts a silencing spell on the other two and tells Alf he wants nothing to do with him. He's persistent though. Insisting that they should get along as future rulers of their lands, he tries to have Jamie become his subordinate. Seeing through this, Jamie refuses yet again. Deciding to use force, Alf uses an artifact to create a barrier around them. Anything that happens inside cannot be seen by those outside. He intends to use this to beat up Jamie without any consequences. However, Jamie has other plans, activating a spell called the Pain. He leaves the three boys in front of him in exactly that pain. As they lay on the ground, struggling with the horrible pain they're feeling, Jamie tells them to keep the barrier up. After all, they wouldn't want to be seen in this condition, would they? After Jamie leaves, Alf is enraged by the state he was forced into. How could a child of the Welton family have such superior magic? Walking away from the area, Alf vows to beat Jamie and take away his magic for good. The end for now. Check out this next manhwa recap appearing on screen right now.